Ah, we have whiteboard. Interesting. Okay, so that's how you would change the private key without the dot part, and then that is with R700 is what you would change the folder. And once you do that, everything will be fine. So just look at the permissions, and whether it's Windows or Linux, know how to change it. And it's very important. You just have to put SSH as a password. You can't put it everywhere. You have to have a special directory that you put it. And that is in Linux or Mac, whatever, it's in home directory.ssh. Okay. And then after that, in the home directory .ssh, then you create a config file. And in that config file, if I open that config file, that's where you just copy everything, right? And the first part is the name, whatever name you want. And then this is the user in your computer, and then the host type, like the IP address, that is the most important part. This is what is really most important. And then this one, which is the parts, the paths. So in this case, the home directory.ssh 10s is for me. But for you, that would be exactly your kind of SSH path, like the key, right? The path to your computer. Most likely it should be like that, with only the change of the name. And the user is the username that is in.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
The identity file. Are we referencing the public key or the private key?
Private key. The public key is only for me. Your public key is just never. You're gonna only use it to pass it to the server. The public
key. My private key is ending with .pk, something .pk. I don't know.
I think it shouldn't be PK, so you have to convert it into PEM. So if you into PEM, that's exactly what I gave the reference, and in that reference, it really talks about how to convert it for EC2 or for Amazon, and you have to convert it into PEM. .pm. So that is follow exactly that one. Follow the guideline, because these are just passwords, how to set passwords. They are sensitive, and so it has to be a PEM file. So follow, if you don't understand it, follow the thing to convert. You can convert from PK to PEM. So nothing, just you can convert your private key from one to another, okay? And then that's it. Once you set up that, then that is basically simple. Just like, like I have YG1 for Y group 1 for group 2 for whatever. So I can give whatever name I want, right? So, but just once you get that group name, then I have SSH YG1, for example, basically allows me to connect to the machine to group 1, okay? So as Claire said, probably, is that Claire? That she was able to connect to the machine, right? So you will figure it out. Let's assume you'll figure it out, and then you connect to your machine, and that's what you're gonna see. You basically are connected. There, the simplest is like, if you will just an empty folder, but the part that everything is installed, and if you don't need to do anything, if you want just only to open your Jupyter, now go to your browser and open localhost. Okay, so in the port that you aliased. So in this case, YG1, I aliased it 8812. And what do I mean? So it's this one. It's the part that I aliased. This is called aliasing or port forwarding. I port forwarded in the server at 8007, the Jupyter is running, so I need to connect to it with 8812 ports, my own choice port. Any number here, right? It's kind of any of the numbers, but there's no reason you need to change it, but keep it. But you can change anything. It's just any port, right? So the port, so you just have to notice the port that you forwarded, in this case 8812. I think for all of you that I give, it's 8812, so you don't have to change. So in that case, you basically, yeah, you go localhost 8812. That's it. No, nothing you do. You don't run anything. Then you get basically you get just Jupyter Hub. You just have to log in. And the password for you, I actually should have. So it's your name. So in this case, whatever your name, and then the password is 10 Academy, just written as 10, and like I will write it here, 10 Academy. I will write that one in Slack. That's it. So your name, your thing, then you get Jupyter, right? You don't have to run Jupyter on the machine. It's already running. It's a Jupyter Hub running. Okay. So
Yabebal,
yeah.
the username is sent to us via Google Sheet, right?
The username is via Google Sheet or whatever you chose. Except if you chose two names, I chose only one. So like exactly these ones, the username are the one that you have to refer. That's your username. The home directory, as well as also in the config, like in here I put CentOS, for example. So like I'm just gonna change it to like mine, like as a user, I put it as Yabebal, and then here it's actually mine is .ssh generic. So I will just change this one here. So that's my thing. Then I will cut that one, and then I will exit. Okay, and then I think, okay. Yeah. So if I go there, if I'm not SSHing, there shouldn't be. So if I localhost 8812, if I am SSHing, it always comes like that. But where am I SSHing it from? This. Yeah. So here, so if I quit, if I exit, then if I do that, it will just break. It says no, right? The reason is the SSHing is my password to get connected to open Jupyter Notebook, right? So only when I am able to connect. So if I do now YG1, I connect now with a different name, as you could see, because I changed it, my username to be Yabebal. So before it was CentOS, which was a root directory, a root user. But right now I changed it to another, exactly the same user as you, which is, as you could see, I changed it to Yabebal, and the IP, whatever, is the same. And then I changed it basically the SSH key, because for this user, I used a different SSH key, okay? And then suddenly it came. Now I can log in as Yabebal, okay, that's my name. And the password is, as I said, 10 Academy, as just basically I wrote. Then if I do this, it should be able to, no, okay, it's actually Yabebal, and the user actually for that was, what was it? Maybe Yabebal again. What username I used? Password. Yeah, it got connected. So yeah, it got in. So that's where. So now I am able to create, run, do whatever.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I think you ran into an issue. Then what was the issue, please? Not the password.
I didn't. It was just a password.
No, not the password. You ran into an issue before you connected to the YG with Yabebal. You are trying to show something.
What? Where?
So you are trying to show something before you connected to the YG1 for Yabebal.
Yeah. Like, I mean, so for example, if I, yeah, where it is here, right? If I quit now, if I'm not SSHing, if it's not live SSH, if there is a network interruption, for example, an SSH is not able to anymore establish, like, then now I cannot connect. If I refresh, it's done. So this part is because I need to SSH first. I need to open the SSH port to get connected. So that,
okay, thank you.
The first thing is you have to SSH. That means now you are able to connect with the Jupyter notebook running in that server. Okay, so that's what is called security. It's like you cannot just, it's not open for anyone, the Jupyter notebook. It's only for those people who are able to establish SSH key or SSH connection. So you don't need to do anything. Just for all your practical reasons, if you are not running scripts, then it's, you SSH to your machine. Okay, you get in, and then you will see that, okay, now when you are in the next machine, from there you can run, of course, Python, whatever, as a script, but it's just like, Python, for example, version that, that's like, what? That is a problem. It's probably because I need, okay, bash. Should be. So, okay, while I will do it, so it's kind of where the Python is installed is in Conda, in workspace. There's a folder called workspace, that's Conda, and then let me try to get Max install Jupyter Hub.
Hello, Yabebal. Yeah, so are we only restricted to using Jupyter Notebook? Can we run Python scripts?
Yeah, I mean, the whole point is you can run Python scripts, actually. So it's, I mean, I'm saying if you want to use your usual way, that's what you do. So I'm just gonna, so this one is, you don't have to do it. I will just do it for you. So that means it's just to initialize opportunity effect close to open the current shell. So then reset RC. So then final Python version should be Python 3.8. So I mean, so Conda is installed. I will do that once, and everybody, you don't have to do anything. So basically, you will have Conda that is Python 3.8. Okay, and that is if you want to share among yourselves, like from one home user to another user, you can use the workspace, or you can use Scratch. So in the Scratch, you can actually write share. Like if you put data in the Scratch folder or in the workspace folder, anyone can access it. If you put it in your home directory, just wherever, that no one accesses. So within yourselves, within a group, you can put it in either Scratch, create it in a Scratch, like, I don't know, a folder, make peer lamps, for example, in a group. Like I have ls home, I don't have now the thing, but make peer Scratch Yabebal, then you will be able to see what is in the Yabebal folder, whatever I put, or, make peer like Scratch, I don't know, data, Twitter data, I don't know, like, then you can share within yourselves within those common folders. They are called the common folders for the group. Okay, so that's all you need. Just basically, you can run screen is, so there is a screen. I think it's not enough time now, but if you want to run a script, a Python script, where are we? Someone, okay. If you want to run a Python script, you basically can just say, like, let's say just I have, let's say cats, like test.py, right? In that test.py, let me say, let me import OS sys, and then let me print sys.pass, okay? And let me just, so now if I can run test.py just like that, right? So then it prints all the paths, whatever. So, and I can rename it also screen. So screen is another thing. Screen session is, I mean, you will learn it, we'll just do it. But the beautiful, and then you give it a name. So let's call it just run, okay? Or pi, just. So this is basically saying I am opening a screen where even if I disconnect, it's still fine, you know? So let me modify test.py. I'm just going to modify it to sleep 10 time. And then after sleeping, first print hello team, sleeping for 10, for let's say 1 minute, 120 seconds, okay? I'm awake, print after 120 seconds, you get another, okay, whatever, you know, and then I don't print anything. So if I do, okay, first like this, just for testing, let me just do 1 second only. So basically it works, right? So let me say 120. So this is running, like let's say it's taking longer Python script, right? So if I now run Python, like, so if I get disconnected by internet issue while this is running, it won't finish. It will just quit, okay? Done. If it has to really finish. But now if I want something like that, which takes time, I want it to finish even if my power is, you know, my computer is whatever, that's where you need screen. So screen S and pi, I will just do it. Now, when I am doing then that, oh, I have to install it. So, okay. So that is another thing. I will install it, but that's why I will show you in another, later, probably later, and I will show you how to use it. But once you are in a screen, you basically don't need to do anything. It just is another shell. You don't even distinguish whether you are in a screen or not. And then you can run this one, you can quit that, you can go home, and you can come back, and it's still, it will run on its own, and it finishes, if it, you know, it kind of, everything is there. So when you come, when you SSH again, you will still see any output that was there, okay? So I will come back to that. But just the very first part that I want you to connect, to concentrate now, that get SSH connection, get Jupyter running, and that's it. So test, you see, like test.py now, whatever I run there is there. So I can just open it here in my Jupyter. So yeah, I hope that is kind of gives you, you don't need to run, please don't run in your machine Jupyter or anything. It's already in the background running. We don't need anything. You only just need to go in, SSH, and just start working, you know, by everything clear.
Yes, thank you.
Some texts, I'm not sure if there are questions. Okay. Yes. So do you get Patrick? Can you type at least if you understand? Is it clear now that Jupyter Hub is running on the AWS? So everything you do is going to be in AWS. So when I connect here, when I run, this is in the Jupyter. Like even if it says localhost, it's because it's called tunneled. It's tunneling, or it's kind of local forward. While actually everything you do, whatever you do here is running in AWS. So if you run a high computation, your computer still will run because you're not running it in a computer. Hopefully that's clear. Yeah, so terminal, yeah, okay. Patrick again, yeah. I use Emacs because that's my default editor anywhere. But yeah, it's Nano or Vim or gedit or Notebook, Notepad, all of that. Okay, so is that clear? Any question? I know that I'm fast because I'm also in a hurry to go to another meeting, but just take advantage of this. Just make sure in the next 3 hours you are able to run. Don't waste this opportunity. Just like make it happen, okay? And it's all about like that. It's like you get something, you go and use it and kind of learn, work in a cloud. And if something is not, just try to figure it out within your group or within within the thing. And if not, I will have another time. I will just be able to show also screen because I will install screen in each of your machine in AWS. So you'll be able to run, and I will demonstrate also how to use screen. But until then, I would really advise everyone to be able to log in, open Jupyter Notebook, just the way it is, and then yeah, we'll proceed from that. Agree?
Yes, thank you very much.
So the summary of these steps, basically nothing, be able to SSH, okay? And that basically means if I quit now, that is putting it, I just SSH. And then after SSHing, so right now it won't work because it's not SSHing, but once it's SSHing, I have already the port that I use, 8812, so I will just take that one, and then I will just say localhost 882 in my browser. Those two are the steps. SSH, then go to your browser. You don't do anything after SSHing. After SSHing, go to your browser and type localhost column 8812. Then you get your Jupyter. It will ask you a user and password. I'm typing it in Slack, that 88 whatever, Jupyter password for it is just 10 Academy. 10 Academy. Okay, so username is your username, right? In basically Google Sheet. Okay, so shown in the Google Sheet, I should say. So that's it. Like all you need is the 2 steps for now, and then from then, do whatever you want. You can copy, and I will show later how to SCP your notebooks to the thing. It's called SCP, but I will just show that. But for now, your main thing is just be able to do that. Okay. Awesome. So we close by that, and yeah, I think it's basically, it says either you have, yeah, so pass the exact, that doesn't help me, what you use, whatever. So really describe well what is your error, because this is not just, I cannot solve, I cannot know by just that example what will be your issue. It could be a permission, your permission in your key, like how you if it's like writable or not. And if not, it could be that that there was a mistake when you sent me the public key. So there could be any number of them. So the only way I would know is that if I really know what you used to SSH. So if you have an issue, just in your group, just please create a thread where I can answer by exactly telling me what you did to SSH, okay? And then the error you get. So right now I cannot, Kevin, for example, I cannot know what your problem could be. Okay.
Hello, Yabebal.
Yeah.
I don't know if you still have enough time. I wanted to ask a question, or maybe the next section.
Yeah. So let's talk in the next session. I have another meeting in 1 minute.
Okay. No problem.
Great. Cheers, guys. Hope you will be able to at least try it and identify problems, and so that we can talk later. Ciao.